Hello. I have been inspired to share a few words this morning after seeing a recent post by a friend and co-worker who has had some incredible courage to speak about their journey into discovering who they really are, and is now owning that and sharing it with the world in ways that goes beyond the level of courage that I could imagine. And we have these masks that we wear of this identity and who we think we are, and this happy, free gypsy that I have been labelled with, which I feel a lot of the time is becoming more and more true for me. However, this has not been my journey. This is really only recent in the last few years that I've felt this free inside, and it's still cyclical. And I think there's some real value in sharing the truth of what has been going on in the inside, because it eases, I think, the pain that other people are going through, that feel like they have to, have everything together and be seen to be successful and look like they've got it sorted. I was the kid that never fitted in. I was always a loner, really happy to do my own thing, and I think that was really because I was unsure how to energetically navigate my world. A lot around me was overwhelming, and so I found myself in nature a lot because it was peaceful and I didn't have to figure out all of the other energies, the thoughts and emotions of what was going on for the people around me. So I've had to reconvene in Perkinana after a battery recharge, and this van has been a lot of the process of my reprogramming and understanding what my journey has been. I feel like there's some real value in sharing this, the inner truth of our struggle, because if we're walking around saying that we're fine and this is not reflected on the inside, then it makes it a lot more difficult to find the resources to help us understand what's going on. And I feel inspired when I see other people sharing what's going on, because it makes me feel a bit less weird and a bit more normal, whatever that is. It's interesting because I feel like I had a very blessed upbringing, and it just goes to show me that no matter what your circumstances, life will always give you lessons or challenges for growth, regardless, and it is as serious as our minds make it out to be. I remember a situation when I was 11 years old at a new school, where I went to join in with a group of girls who I didn't know very well, and was quite obviously rejected from that group. And from that moment on, I basically said, fuck you to the world, I can do this on my own. And that has been a real theme for my life, which I've only just started to unravel recently. And that really started the hardening process for me. That, on top of discovering how much I had been intimidated by male sexual energy when I was younger, and had no idea how I was supposed to behave, had no idea how to navigate this energy of sex and sexuality. And again, it caused me to just make all the guys around me my mates, and I was basically a tomboy. It's kind of a weird saying, but that's what the label was. And it was just easier to have them as my mates than to have to figure the rest of it out. And so that was another layer of the shell. And I really lost touch with my femininity. And coming into the army in New Zealand for 7 years, I also just stacked some more layers on top of that, of needing to be this person who I thought that I was expected to be, and again just losing touch with that softness and the nature kid that I was. Through a situation in a mining crew, maybe 4 years after the army, there was a situation where I was on the receiving end of a bullying situation, which I had helped to create with the ego that I had brought with me. I had 6 months of going to work in fear and absolute dread, and watching my back and waiting until a situation was created where I could be fired. And I had no idea. I had some great mates in the crew, a couple that really were my saving grace, that were my brothers, and they helped me through that process. And it really made me just turn inwards, because I could see how insecure I was in trying to fit in with these people that didn't have my back, and why was I trying to gain their acceptance and approval. And it basically sent me down the rabbit hole of why was I so insecure, why was I living my whole life to other people's expectations. And there was a light bulb moment where I recognized that I had created the situation through the ego that I had brought, and it just led me down the rabbit hole of my inner world. And I read countless books and saw many different mediums and healers. I did courses, I traveled, I entered van life. I was basically trying to understand my pain and figure out who I was and what I was looking for. Once I started recognizing that many of my reactions and behaviors were not mine, they had been programmed, from society, from upbringing, from people that wish us all the love in the world. And we take on these ideas and these filters and these programs from TV, from radio, from teachers, from friends, from family. And it wasn't until I started to question every belief that I ever had and ask, where had it come from? Was it true for me? Did it serve me? And if not, how did I reprogram it? And I kind of took it on head first, like I have done a lot of things in my life, and moved into my van. Van life was responsible for a lot of the reprogramming. I realized that what I was searching for was my reconnection back into myself, back to who I am, and that really started when I wanted to, give away and sell most of my things and move into my van so that I could find myself in all the amazing places in nature that taught me so many lessons, and how to let go and how to trust, how to tune into the language of nature and the universe that guides our way when we're listening. And along with the healing work that I've been learning and sharing, it's helped me to rediscover my softness and to really celebrate both of the feminine and the strength aspects that have been my pathway in this life so far. I'm sure this will continue to morph and take its own journey, and I'll continue to ride it, knowing that I don't need to control it anymore. I will say that sitting in silence in nature for me has been one of my greatest discoveries, to reconnect back into the truth of who I am and the wisdom of the world around us. It's the greatest awakening that I could have expected, alongside being in a mining crew. Sitting in silence with my back against a tree is like coming home, and there's so many people that I know understand this feeling, and we all do that in different ways. And it really was the catalyst that I needed to meet me again, when I could sit there in silence with myself, just breathing and listening with every cell of my body, and whatever I needed to recalibrate or discover would appear when it was needed. Interestingly, this nature reconnection took the disguise of ultramarathon running, until I started to chill out with it. So that's kind of a bit of the journey in a nutshell, and I'm absolutely open to anybody who wants to connect with me for any reason. Just a cup of tea, for a good old doof dance, for a van journey, whatever it might be. And yeah, until next time, peace out.